I've had a lot of requests to make videos on how our radios function, so I wanted to just go over the features in this video. Right now we're going to start. The radio is off. Turn the radio on with this left knob here. This is just for radios that have the AM/FM switch, slide bar. All the features will be the same throughout most of those radios. So when you turn it on, this particular one has a stereo indicator on the side here. It will light up orange whenever you get on station. So this volume knob is also in the on-off control, so you turn that up to your desired listening area. Behind the volume knob is a back ring. Your back ring here is for your tone control, so you turn it left to go to your highs, your treble. You're going to turn it right to go to your lows for your bass. And if you set it centered, it mixes both of those together. On the right hand side is going to be your tuning knob. So you can use this knob to tune up and down your dial. You will see your dial pointer move. You do have to have power connected to the radio in order to have your dial pointer move. It is on a motor. So this knob will tune up and down your dial for you. Behind this knob is your balance control. So when you are on station, this will balance to your right speakers when you go right, and your left speakers when you go left. Your stereo indicator will go out on this particular model when you're not in stereo any longer, when you go down to one speaker. Set it center, it's going to mix both of your speakers. Along with your balance knob is also a hidden fade function for your front and rear speakers that the radio did not originally have. So when you go up towards the top of the dial, if you lock on a station, let it play for a second or two, and then you're going to tune all the way to the very top of the dial. When it gets above the 108, it's going to start blinking. It's going to show that you're in fade mode now to go front and rear instead of left and right. When you're at this mode and it's blinking, you then can use that same back ring, and you can go left for your fronts and right for your rear speakers. And it'll fade from the front to the back. And then again, you can set it center and you'll be on all four speakers, front and rear. And then when you tune off, it saves however you had that fade feature. When that light is no longer blinking, the knob becomes your balance again for left and right. You do have your 5 push buttons here are going to be presets in AM and FM. So as you press them, they will come preset from our factory to our local stations here. If you need to reset them for something that you want to listen to, you just tune in your desired station. Press and hold the push button for about 3 seconds. You'll see it go back and forth, and it will turn on that new station that you just set. That is for all 5 push buttons here. On this particular model, you do have your AM/FM switch to switch bands. It'll be the same case here where you'll have 5 presets, and if you wanted to reset them, you would just press You'll just press it and hold a button for a couple seconds. It'll run back and forth and land back on the station that you wanted to preset. Everything works the same in AM for your on-off volume, your tone, and your balance. Your fader, however, only works at the top of the band in FM. So this is only going to be balanced when you're in AM. You'd have to switch to FM, tune to the top of the dial, set your fader for front and rear, and then you can go back to AM. We do have other features on these radios, such as Bluetooth, auxiliary, and we have outputs for an amplifier. If you were going to use an amplifier, you would have to set it up. So with the radio turned off, you would hold in the middle button and turn the radio on. It's going to go through a scan. It's going to find out what stations you're picking up to know what country you're in for how to set your channel spacing. It does all that on its own. When it's done blinking, you would press either the second button in for a green LED to say, yes, I do have an external amplifier connected to my rear outputs. If you don't, then you would press the 4th button and it would blink red to say I do not have it. So if you do have an external amplifier, you do have to do this step, and you'd press in that second button, and then you'd press the 1st button to exit and go back to radio. If you did not have an amplifier, you would still have to press the 4th button and then the 1st button to exit. When you're back to your radio, it's all saved for what you had, and you would have your amplifier turned on And then it would be able to fade and balance and do all of the features just through those RCA outputs on the back of the radio. If you are not using them, you don't have to do any of those steps. You don't have to set anything up. Your radio comes from the factory ready to go using our internal amplifier. I just wanted to add that in there in case you are using one. The other features on here are going to be your Bluetooth and auxiliary and your foot switch. So on the back of the radio, you do have a auxiliary input jack, which is going to be the one closest to the end, or I'm sorry, closest to the middle. You'd be able to plug in a CD player, a cell phone if it had a headphone jack. Anything that has a headphone jack can get plugged into that hole. The second hole to the farthest end is for a foot switch. That one is this device here that we make. It is a foot switch. It helps you to tune up the dial without having to take your eyes off the road. So this normally be mounted on the floor of the car. You would be able to have your foot on it and you'd be able to press it. When you press it, your dial pointer is going to move up to the next station available and it's going to seek up the dial. This was something that came in select cars from the factory, and it was just to keep the driver's eyes on the road, so we remade the foot control, and it is available for all of our radios if you are interested in it. That is what the other jack on the back of the radio is for. And then the other feature is Bluetooth, and that is located all the way at the low end of the dial. Just like faders at the top, Bluetooth is down on the bottom. So you're going to tune all the way down as low as it can go. If you've already been paired before, you will have a bright blue light. If you've never been paired to the radio, it might just be off in the center. And at that point, you'll have to go in your phone and pair. So I'm going to hold in the middle button, which is going to send the radio into a pairing mode. It'll be blinking blue. So when you have your smartphone, you would slide down, go to your Bluetooth settings. You would find the device, which our new model right now is an AAR Inc. BT version 1.6. And you'll hear a Bluetooth tone through the speakers, and it will say it's connected for calls and media. Calls obviously are your calls in and out. Your media is going to be your music and apps like that. So you do want them connected for both if you're going to use both. Sometimes on your phone in your settings, it might have options for audio and media, and if it does, just make sure they're both on if you plan on using both music and calls. So while it's connected here, if you have anything like Spotify, Pandora, anything on your phone, you can use any of those apps, SiriusXM app, any of that. Also with things like YouTube, anything will play through this. Your middle button is to play and pause. So you don't actually have to use your phone after your initial pair. It is on. You do want to make sure that your volume on your phone is set up to about 75%. It might give you the warning about the high volume. That's okay. You don't listen to headphones in here, so it's all right. So you're going to set it up to about 75%. And then you can adjust the volume on the radio if needed. So your middle button here is going to be for play and pause. The two buttons to the left and right of the middle is to go forward and backwards. So you can go backwards to start the song over. You can go forward to go to the next song that's available. I'm going to go back and try to avoid some ads here. Your last button here is an equalizer. You will see that the center LED is going to start changing colors. Every color has a different meaning, so whether it's going green for soft, or dim green for bass, or bright red for treble, dim red for classical. Every color has a different type of music that is saved on our website for which color is for which type of music preference. So you'd go until you find what you want. If you wanted to do, rock, which is a teal, which just passed, once that color goes, you let go, and it saves it for what it is. And then you can move on, and then you have the first button, which is a voice command, so you can press that in and hold it. And the voice command would come up on the phone, and then you can just say call whoever is in your address book in your phone, and it will do that. whether you use like Google Assistant or Siri, whatever the voice command, Bixby, whatever the voice command app is that is on your phone is what will run with that first button. And it'll come up on the phone, and you can just talk through the radio because the radios have a microphone built in. This one particularly is right in the center here. Every radio has one, whether it's built into the push button hole or the dial glass. And so you just talk, and your radio is going to pick it all up for you as you drive. If you want to get out of Bluetooth, you just tune out. Anytime you go down there, if you're already paired, you'll see that bright blue light in there. And you can, go between radio and Bluetooth. If you're in radio and you're paired up and a phone call comes in, it just mutes the radio and switches to phone call. You don't have to answer it. You can use the other buttons for this far button. If a call is coming in, it would be for reject call. Your first button would be to hold, or put them on hold and release it from hold. Your middle button is to answer and hang up phone calls, and then your side buttons here will put the volume up and down during your phone call if needed. All of that is on the picture on the front of your manual where it shows the push buttons to teach you what it does. That is all of the features that come with our radios. I hope that this answers any questions you may have, and if not, feel free to reach out to us and we can answer any questions that you have. Thank you.